Breaking down Usain Bolt's technique during his 100-meter world record, and the first thing we're going to start with is the block start. During the set position, we usually want our angle of our hips to be above our head and our shins to be horizontal. Then Usain Bolt projects his torso out at a 45-degree angle. This allows the body to apply force in the horizontal direction and sets up the legs so we can attack down and backwards during the first 3 steps. This graphic incorrectly explains triple extension since Tyson Gay was actually not that bad. But what we do want is full hip extension without overly locking out the knee. So once we get full hip extension, our hip flexors can start the cross extensor reflex where the leg reflexively drives forward with the heel recovery staying low with minimal muscular effort. Now for the second step, we set up in a position where we can attack down and back where we land closer to center of mass, and this allows him to drive the body forward with good horizontal forces. Understand that the higher the heel recovery is, the more time the foot spends in the air, but we can only apply force when the foot is on the ground, which means we want lower heel recovery. Now, the first 10 steps is going to be the explosive strength, which is called the early acceleration phase. As you go to 20 meters, we start the late acceleration phase. During the late acceleration phase, he is transitioning all the forces and momentum he built in the first 0 to 20 meters to help aid his top end sprint speed. And a tip, think about rising up slowly like an airplane and allowing your hips to gradually move forward until it's under your center of mass. Since now Usain Bolt is in his top end speed phase around 40 to 60 meters, it's less about the body's ability to produce force and more about the body's ability to reflect and redirect eccentric forces. Top end sprint speed has a lot to do with the athlete's single leg reactivity. The more you can store and release elastic energy in under 0.15 seconds, the better naturally an athlete will run during top end sprinting. Usain Bolt here sprints with tall hips, attacking close to the center of mass, and a dorsiflex foot, which helps him maintain the posture needed to keep his lead. And of course, for the final section, the 100-meter finish, which is around 60 to 100 meters, Usain Bolt does a few things perfectly well. The whole point of the finish is just to not mess things up, since most people are decelerating after 6 seconds of maximal sprinting anyways. You are trying to maintain your speed and prevent deceleration as much as possible. This requires Usain Bolt to stay as relaxed as possible, since tensing up here will use more muscular energy, which will drastically slow him down, and he second lands close to his center of mass to reduce the braking forces that commonly happen from athletes overstriding at the end of their race. Pair this with maintaining a tall posture and not leaning forward, and you will decelerate as minimal as possible during the end of the race. Follow me if you want to get faster.